Today I am going to discuss about the Perling effect in an aquarium. What is an Perling effect? See the slight flow of oxygen bubbles that has been released from the plants. So it looks like a small pearls, and that's why it is called a Perling effect. So the one of the major attraction of hobbyists to take up planted aquarium as a hobby, uh, mainly because of this pearling effect, and it is very relaxing and very soothing, and it really brings a lot of joy when you see all the plants in your aquarium is emitting this oxygen bubbles. It creates a very healthy environment for your fish, and it increases the oxygen content of the water, and this is very nice. Now, how we can make this pearling effect more? I mean, what is the reason why it is happening nicely? Uh, Basically, is a law of physics and chemistry, and of course, botany. So, if the water has a limit to how much uh, gaseous content it can hold, that's called saturation point. So that means once the water cannot absorb any further gases, you will see them as emitting the water as bubbles and mixing with the air above. So first thing, so there has to be a lot of oxygenation in the tank to see this effect, and second, there should be an optimum level of lighting and CO2 balance that will help the plants to do photosynthesis and bring out these oxygens. Uh, so this is the main factor that you have to consider. So in my tank, if you see that all the plants are oxygenating, even if you see the Rotella Ishra's leaves, they're full of oxygens, and some oxygens are going, some oxygens are not going, and something is like stuck in under the leaf. If you see this particular here, uh, the the Monte Carlos, they are vividly oxygenating. There are certain plants which oxygenates more. For example, the Rotella ishra, Rotella indica, and Rotella green that I have, and also the plants like uh, Monte Carlo. They produce lot of oxygen. What I do, so there has to be so I follow a certain process by which I seen success, and I'm going to share that success with my fellow hobbyists today. One, I turn on the carbon dioxide at least um, 1 hour before I switch on the lights. So I use a smart plug where I set up the timer. So even I am busy with the work, so this takes care of the regularity. So I typically turn on the carbon dioxide at around 3 p.m. and after 1 hour, and I use around 3 to 4 bubbles per second for the carbon dioxide, and then I turn on the light at around 4 o'clock. That is 1 hour gap. So in this 1 hour, there's enough carbon dioxide that gets mixed in the water, and once the light comes up, the plant starts their photosynthesis process and they starts oxygen emitting, and then slowly I seen that this kind of pearling, this takes a peaks around 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. That means the water is saturated with lot of gaseous substance like carbon dioxide and oxygen. Now it makes a great show about this one, and you can sometimes you can see a stream of oxygen going through that. So if I put my camera angle a little bit that, and then you can see that the amount of oxygen it is generating and is going up actually. This is really nice. So typically, I mean, I also used to have a low tech aquarium where I didn't have uh, though I did have very good carbon dioxide infusion, but I didn't have very powerful light. So this is also very critical aspect, because light, without light the photosynthesis cannot happen. However, carbon dioxide you may provide. So so it is important that you to take a proper light which provides the right wavelength, or to you know encourage photosynthesis and this. So that's it for today, friends. So we'll come back with some more practical tips from a novice aquascaper like me. I'm a hobbyist and I'm a novice. I'm not a professional person. So the tips that I'm giving is based on my learning from my mistakes, and I hope you will be able to will be successful in creating a wonderful aquascaping, and you will be able to enjoy your tank. Thank you very much.